Bonjour, Pamela.
Bonjour, Monsieur
Tanguy.
Tanguy.
Nice to meet you. So, thank you to have accepted our interview. So, we are from Impulse Radio. So, for our listeners and in radio and TV, we would like to know who's Pamela.
Pamela, I've been working with the African Union in the Policy Bridge Tank program, which I lead in the Economic Analysis and Foresight Unit. Next year, I will celebrate my 2 decades of employment at the African Union, and I'm very happy to have been at the center of a lot of the policies that have been shaped for the continent.
So, you've been there like 2 decades. That is amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank
think
you.
It must be some type of challenge. So far, what is your vision in terms of how do you understand? Is it working? Because many people think it doesn't work. So, is it, according to you, who's been here 2 decades, is there progress? Or tell us what.
Absolutely. Often when people want to see progress, they want to see tangible progress. And I would say that although it has been moving in a significant speed over the past 2 decades, of course we had COVID that took us slightly back. We have had other climate threats that have taken us back. We have had other geopolitical issues that have taken us back. But I think the more we're taken back, the harder we push forward. And we might be taken 10 steps back, but the speed in which we bounce back will take us ultimately 20 steps forward. But change happens incrementally. And unless we are well coordinated and we do so in unity, we will actually see the evidence of that. And being in a part of a symposium of the University of Johannesburg on the African Union Studies Symposium that we are attending now, it is platforms like that will take us vigorously forward.
Okay. So how does the, you call it AUDA-NEPAD, operationalize the African Union vision for resources, sovereignty, and liberation?
So thank you for that. The African Union is organized in frameworks. We have continental frameworks. These continental frameworks fit ultimately into the continental framework, which is Agenda 2063. The sub-frameworks are directed more to thematic areas. It's TISA for science, technology, CADAP for agriculture, etc. And ultimately, the African Union Development Agency makes sure that these sub-frameworks is aligned to the continental framework, which is Agenda 2063. Our role as the agency of the African Union is to implement the Agenda 2063. So we work with member states. We align their national development plans with the goals and aspirations of Agenda 2063, and it's monitored through a dashboard that we have that's live and available. As you know, we finished the first 10-year implementation plan. We're now into the second. We've completed the second 10-year implementation plan, and to be ambitious to tackle financial sovereignty or resources for repatriations, we had make sure that these second 10-year implementation plans have 7 moonshots, and each moonshot it makes sure that Africa is elevated and lifted from the repatriations discussions that we're having now.
Okay. So will you say that African states effectively utilize African Union policies, mechanisms for collective negotiation, for example?
Yes. And an example of that, yes, I do. And as I said, it does take time because there's a lot of players that needs to chart a ship going to in a progressive course. The biggest win is African Union's admission to the G20. This means that Africa no more are observers to the global politics. We are now having a voice to the global politics. And it's one way to show, to observe how Africa will organize and coordinate itself so that we can be represented in that one voice. One seat is insufficient for 55 countries, and people forget that we are unlike the EU, which is a supranational entity. We are a continental. The African continent is 55 member states. So that takes coordination. That takes a deliberate attempt to chart a way forward.
Okay. So what are the biggest challenges to policy execution within the continental framework, for example?
And this is coming back to why we don't see the evidence.
Yes.
Coordination plays a huge role. To coordinate, our governments change hands every 4 years. And each time we change hands, there's a tendency to reinvent the wheel. I think it is very, very important for there to be a level of continuity from one administration to another administration. If we behave in a way that we absorb some of the work that is being done, resources going forward can be spent wisely. So I think the challenge of coordination is fundamental. The challenge of inconsistency is fundamental. And once you marry the two, people often think that it's up to one individual, one country, one government. It's a collective. And the more the African governments involve the citizens, the more the citizens will understand the country dynamics, the country constraints, and then how we represent ourselves at a global level. So I think as the AUDA-NEPAD, we are tasked to domesticate the Agenda 2063, and I explained how we do that by aligning it with the country national development plans. I think it's people that we have here in the room that should take it down to the ground, should take it to sensitizing the citizens, to sensitizing our scholars, our youth, as to what it actually means and how we can rise from the repatriations that we are claiming.
To close, we'd like to do to check on the current situation, geopolitical situation of the world today. We see there's different conflict and it affect the way the exchange and country deal with. What do you think Africa should take from it? Is it the time for Africa to play its cards, or is it time to retreat?
Absolutely, it's time for Africa to play its cards. We need to step forward, and we don't just need to step forward, we need to push in that one voice, in the one force. What is happening geopolitically has always been happening geopolitically. It's just that there's a louder noise now. I think that Africa must constantly be consistent and push forward now more than ever. Next year, I've written a piece called the G20 Gap Year, because we are concerned about what will happen. There's word that a lot of these engagement groups of the G20 might fall away. But I think the African Union can really make best of the year in terms of how we recoup, in terms of how we coordinate ourselves. And when it gets back in 2027 to reconvene, to represent our voices, we will have then a solid year to organize and to reframe and to go together in one voice and one accord.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you.